Welcome back to the channel. I have been spending my first year in this greenhouse, which is more like a cold frame because I don't really heat it, learning about it. I don't have any special fans in here. It's really just a big cold frame. So I've got to come in manually open windows and things like that. I already have a lot of lessons learned on things of growing seed. I've done a lot of it outside before. Growing in a greenhouse gives me a little bit extra heat, which is fun, and it kind of speeds things up, especially because I'm growing in zone 4 outside of Minneapolis. And it's very cold here in most years. At this time, I want to go through some of my lessons I've learned to help me grow beautiful tomato. Here's tomatoes that I grew from seed. And I want to talk about how I did that as well as some other lessons. I want to also take some time now to do some follow-up videos. Lesson number 1. Growing seeds in individual pots is not as good as growing it in a bulk pot. What do I mean by that? Here's an example of lupine that I grew. I soaked the seeds for 3 days and I planted them in different ways. This particular one is just in a 6-inch round container, and I dotted the seeds in and around it. And I planted other ones into individual cells and they didn't even come up. So I think having a constant moisture is really what helped these. These did really well. And in some cases, I have ones that are bigger. I've already pricked out into individual cells after the fact. So if you're going to grow from seed and you struggle and have problems, that might be one of the key things that can help you is grow them in a bigger pot like this to begin with. Start the seeds. And then when you get the true leaves like these, prick them out into the individual pots you want them to grow on. And I think that's what a lot of I'm pretty sure that's what a lot of the other professional nurseries do. But it was a lesson for me to learn that it's so much easier to do it right the first time. So these are caladias that I planted up at the beginning of April. So we're again 8 weeks out. So they finally are coming. But it took 8 weeks to get these things to go. Because I live in a cold zone, I have a very short growing season. And I need to be able to get things started a little bit earlier. Now, I used a humidity dome, just like this Rubbermaid container behind me. You can see how much humidity is in there to really help give it that tropical vibe. So it would sprout, and these ones are coming along, and I'm very happy. So I could grow these for like $1 a piece or $2 a piece if I bought the bulbs or the corms from the store versus buying a plant like this for, I don't know, 8, 9, 10, $15. They're pretty expensive. $7 for one plant that's an annual I think is a lot of money. So being able to save some money and do it like this is good. Again, I started them in my house, but they didn't prop up. And then I brought them out to the greenhouse once we started getting a little bit warmer. April can be pretty cold in zone 4. Another thing that I'm doing is I tend to always bust my onions off. So I elected to put my onions in a cell. This is a deep cell, like for what you would root trees in, just to kind of get them started. And I'm going to pot them out into the garden once they get a little bit bigger. I just get really busy. So this is a temporary solution for me to get the onions going, and I'll carefully lift them out and plant them in my garden when I get a minute. One of my other lessons learned is I collected some of my own seed, and the seed that was stratified or was out in the cold and had that cold period did really good. And the seed that wasn't stratified, my germination rate was really low. So in the future, if I take my own seed, I'm going to make sure I do a stratification process on it, whether it needs it or not, because I think it will help it along. I am still working on trying to get lavender to go from seed. I cold stratified it, and I'm still working out the details there. It's one of the more difficult things there is to bloom. But at least I got the lupins going, and it's going pretty well for me. So I'm pretty happy about that. If this video is helpful, give us a thumbs up so YouTube knows to share this content with others. Also consider subscribing so you don't miss any of our other great videos. If you like garden tours, check this playlist next. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great day.